Hello, welcome to the Voice and Visuals of Amber 25. Yes, the Silver Jubilee episode 25. So welcome to the 25th episode of the Voice and Visuals of Amber. And as I had promised to somebody, yes, it was Mr. Rahul Yadav, who had requested me to do something on the literary devices or the poetic devices, or what normally in schools we were taught the figures of speech. So it is language in action, poetic or literary devices. And today we are going to take up two of them. The most commonly used expressions, all right, that actually enriches, or I would say even decorates your language. And poets mostly use them. So language in action, poetic or literary devices, and we begin with the simile. Let's begin with the example first. So let's have example first and then the explanation. So here I have two kinds of examples. One, a normal everyday kind of example, which I have called it crude example, and the other is the expression used by famous poets in in their poems. So you have poetic or literary examples. So let's begin with the first one. Simile. Shreya Ghoshal's voice is as sweet as Anuradha ji's or Anuradha Paudwal's. Why are you behaving like a monkey? I have been working like a dog while you have been sleeping like a log. So, very obvious. As, like. So similarly, when something is described by comparing it to another thing with the help of the words like or as. So you all know like or as are the two most commonly used words whenever we talk about something and we want to compare that something to something else which is similar to the original subject. So here the original subject was Shreya Ghoshal's voice. And what are we doing? We are comparing her voice with the voice of Anuradha Paudwal ji. So in this sentence we use the word as, all right, to help in drawing that analogy, in drawing that comparison. So इसको अगर हम हिंदी में बोले तो as और like का हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं, प्रयोग करते हैं, और एक चीज को या एक व्यक्ति को हम तुलना करते हैं उसकी किसी और से with the help of the words as or like. The second one, of course, if you recall your days, all right, when you were a small child, then how often your mother or your grandmother must have lovingly scolded you, yes, lovingly and angrily as well, by asking you, why are you behaving like a monkey? Now, yes, my apologies to all monkeys. Yeah, we are not supposed to, we shouldn't be denigrating the monkey. The monkey behaves the way nature has actually made monkeys to behave. So therefore, no comparisons basically to mock monkeys, but just an example, okay? So why are you behaving like a monkey? And the third one, this reminds you of the Beatles songs, It's Been a Hard Day's Night. Yeah, so I have been working like a dog. So my work, or the fact that I have been working that has been compared to, a dog, like a dog. Again, does the dog really work very hard? Well, that's a question mark. But then yes, the main thing is the use of the word like for the comparison. So I've been working like a dog while you have been sleeping like a log. Well, mostly my wife often tells me this, that she has been working like a dog while I have been sleeping like a log. Well, now let's see the better examples, the poetic examples. And this particular poem by Alfred Noyes, The Highwayman. The Highwayman, if you remember, yes, you are the highwayman, and the love story of the highwayman and his beloved Bess, the landlord's black-eyed daughter Bess. Remember, it's always there in some school book or the other, alright, from literature. So and finally you see the highwayman was shot dead, alright, on the highway. So there you are. When they shot him down on the highway, down like a dog on the highway. So here you have the comparison with the help of the words like. So when they shot him down on the highway, down like a dog on the highway. So these were examples of similes. Alright. So we use simile, alright, an expression to actually when we want to describe something by comparing it to another thing, alright, which has similar characteristics, and with the help of the words like or as. So simile, therefore, is the most commonly used figure of speech, alright, and the distinguishing feature of the simile is the use of the word like or as. Okay, now we move on to the second one, the metaphor. And first, let's get the pronunciation of this word correct. Mostly, you must have heard people saying metaphor. No, but the correct pronunciation is metaphor. So, metaphor. What is a metaphor? A metaphor is also, a sort of comparison, but then it's very different. It's very direct. Let's see the examples. Yes. And when my mother was very angry with me, again, lovingly angry, and I was, I was being a pain in the neck for her, well, she would say, "You are a monkey." No need to compare with the help of the words like or as, because that would be a little milder. You are a monkey. No, I'm not. No, you are. Okay, so you are a monkey. Most modern cities are concrete jungles. So cities pointing to jungles. So you have cities, alright, being compared with jungles of concrete, with the greenery being eaten away. So most modern cities are concrete jungles, or something better, something more delicate. Children are flowers in this. I'll just make a correction over here. Yeah. Okay. Children are flowers in this strife, conflict-torn world. So children being compared very directly with flowers. But then the comparison is implied. So in metaphor, the comparison is implied. It's more direct. Alright? We don't use the words like or as. You are a monkey. Now, if I were to be compared to a monkey, which one would be a milder, alright, a milder insult, alright, to me? This one, you are behaving like a monkey, or you are a monkey? Now you are a monkey is obviously much stronger, a more grievous insult than the first one. Okay, thank you, Mom. I keep remembering you, all right, wherever you are. You are one of my, in fact, you are the mentor of this humble teacher. So, metaphor is therefore an expression to describe a person. Yeah, you describe the listener, you, or a thing, to describe a person or a thing, or modern cities, or most modern cities, by referring to something having a similar characteristic but unrelated to the subject. Yes. So obviously monkey and the listener, the child, not related to one another. Then cities and jungles, not related to one another. And children and flowers, again, not related to one another. But then we use this expression called metaphor, all right, to describe a person or a thing, a person or a thing, by referring to something that has similar characteristics, although that is unrelated to the original subject. So, monkey, similar characteristics, maybe disturbing my mom a lot. I don't know whether a little monkey disturb their moms or not. Then similarly, modern cities, just as jungles, normally we find trees and trees and trees. In modern cities, we find buildings, buildings and buildings. So, concrete jungles. And children, all right, are like flowers, but children are as delicate, as sensitive as flowers. But we don't use the word like or as, we want to be more direct. Implied comparison. And that is what a metaphor is. So children are flowers in this strife-torn world. In this world which has so much of disturbance, which has, wars going on, all kinds of conflicts going on, well, children keep us very happy. So they are flowers in the strife-torn world. Now, let us have a poetic example. And again, from the same poem, The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. The wind was a torrent of darkness. Yeah. So again, here, this is a fast rushing, liquid or water. So the wind is compared directly without using the word like or as. And we say the wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. Then similarly, the moon. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. Yes, the moon was here one word is missing. It should be, yes. The moon was a ghostly galleon. Galleon is a ship. So the moon that actually shows the way to the sailors. In this particular, context, the moon is being tossed like a ship. A ship that is lost, all right, and is being tossed upon cloudy seas. So you have a double metaphor. Here you have actually two figures of speech or literary devices. You have a metaphor over here, all right, the clouds being compared to the seas directly, and also cloudy is an adjective. So it's a case of what is known as transferred epithet. We'll take it later. The road was a ribbon of moonlight. So directly we say the road was a ribbon. We don't say the road was as, all right, serpentine, maybe as a river, as a ribbon. So we don't use the word like or as, and we say the road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor. So these are first-class examples. In fact, the first 3 lines of the poem, the classic, the immortal poem, the Highwayman, all right, has metaphors. The wind was a torrent of darkness. So metaphor is an expression to describe a person or a thing. A thing, and the expression, a torrent of darkness, was a torrent of darkness. So that describes the wind. All right, the wind is being referred to the torrent, that is something having similar characteristics, meaning it was very windy. All right, it was almost stormy, like you have the gushing water. All right, torrent. So similar characteristics, but unrelated to the subject. Yes, the rushing water is not related directly to the wind. In the same way, a galleon or a ship is not related to the moon. But then, yes, the direct or the implied comparison has been made over here. The road was a ribbon. So the road, all right, is being described by the poet by referring to the road, okay, by using the word a ribbon of moonlight, all right, to refer to the road, the twisting road, the serpentine road, the road that wasn't, a very easy path for the highwayman. So the road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, right? A ribbon, and all around, on both the sides, you had the wide open fields, okay, purple, dark. But the moonlight was falling on the road and making it more visible and making it shine. So that is all for today. Metaphors and similes, the 2 most common figures of speech. So wait for the next episode on the poetic or literary devices, all right, and we will take up alliteration and assonance. Take care till then. Bye-bye. And yes, have a very, very joyous but somber, cautious Basant Panchami or Saraswati Puja. Take care.